Hey everyone, let's talk about this. This is the Joyo Jackman II. If this is the kind of amp you like, this is the amp for you. This has actually been around for quite a while. I know there's a ton of people that have done reviews on YouTube and elsewhere about this little amp. They've gone through all the features and they've sound tested it and everything. But I wanted to give you my 2 cents on this, especially in light of contrasting it with 2 products that I've been putting down a lot on this channel. One is the Boss Katana and the other one is the Marshall Valve State. So, first of all, I think Marshall needs to find the engineers who designed this and hire them. Because if you see what Marshall managed to produce with one tube preamp, they came out with the Marshall Valve State series and all its derivatives. They managed to use a vacuum tube to give you the worst solid state sound imaginable. And then you get these guys who use the same vacuum tube. I think it's a 12AX7 in this. And they produce something that actually sounds really good. It's night and day. Now, I would classify this as a practice amp. I don't know what technically the definition of a practice amp is or where the fuzzy edges are for what you call a practice amp. This is 20 watts of output. And to give you an idea of what 20 watts is, if you're playing this through a cabinet of some kind, because it doesn't come with a speaker, you got to plug this into a cab, you can overpower a singer with 20 watts. Just somebody singing in a room with a 20 watt amp, whether it's going into a 6-inch speaker or 2 4x12s, you can pretty much keep up with a singer in a room. Can you overpower a drum kit in a room? No, not with 20 watts. That's what I'd say. Obviously, this is a huge oversimplification, but that's kind of the range that we're in here. So I would classify this as a practice amp or a bedroom amp. Same thing. I guess maybe I'm being fooled psychologically because this thing is so small that it also looks like a toy. So maybe that's what I'm doing subconsciously or something. But anyway, let's review this thing as a practice amp. Now, I've got a lot of things you would classify as practice amps, like Roland cubes and little things like that. But I got to say, a lot of them have a ton of bells and whistles on them. Far more bells and whistles than this thing has. All kinds of effects, you name it, they got it. The problem is that the big Achilles heel, depending on your point of view, is that the sound on bedroom amps usually sucks, at least in my experience. It might have fancy features, it might be convenient, it might be cheap, but have you ever played through a bedroom amp or a practice amp that's truly inspirational to play through? Well, I haven't, so come let me know what your secret is. But this thing, it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but holy crap, it actually sounds great. Does it sound like a JCM800? That's obviously what this thing is trying to simulate. You can see the letters there, JCM2, right? That's been pointed out by about 150,000 people online. Does it sound like a JCM800? No, it doesn't. But it comes rather close to it, actually. And it does give you the feeling of playing through tubes. I will give it that. Specifically, when you go into distortion, you add distortion, the bass frequencies don't drop out for a start, which is kind of a signature of solid state. Anyway, this thing is awesome. I really, really like it. Now, I was biased against Joyo to begin with because Joyo, they made their name on making cheap crap. They're a Chinese company. Intellectual property doesn't mean much over there. And they've made their name on copying, I would say ripping off a lot of famous products and building a cheap, crappy version of it. But I got to admit, this does not feel cheap. And I'm not sure how the IP stuff works because I don't think they didn't copy the exact Marshall circuit, obviously. This has got a solid state power stage. It's like a Class D amplifier, so that means it's very efficient. For the 20 watts, it produces more sound and less heat. It has that one preamp tube in the preamp circuit for this that presumably gives the distortion its character. And yeah, it sounds really good. Now, it does have this Bluetooth function. My understanding is that if you turn it on, that allows you to play music from your phone over the amp, over the solid state power amp, which is practically transparent. So you can play your guitar with its coloration to, you know, like a backing track or something like that. Personally, I don't really use that. I don't think I will, but yeah, another sign that this is like a practice amp, right? I don't think you're going to need that on stage. You know, I've already slagged off the Marshall Valve State, which was Marshall's version of it, albeit like 30 years earlier, but still, this actually sounds like a tube. It's actually really fun to play. And the other thing that I contrast this, I can't help but compare it to, is the Boss Katana, just because it's ubiquitous. You know, yeah, it doesn't have any of the effects, doesn't have any of the special features or, you know, any of that, but I actually prefer playing through this than the Boss Katana any day. We're right in the middle of recording a massive double album, and the band is using that thing as their guitar sound. My God, I would have, if I got this a few weeks earlier, I'd have recommended they use this. Yeah, so anyway, I have nothing but good things to say about this. The only one thing I will say that I don't like about it, that I haven't heard anyone comment on, is, how can I put this? The color of this red. Now, even on camera, even on, like, my camera here, this kind of looks like a rather deep, rich red. It looks like, you know, like you're descending into hell or something, you know, with the red and the black. It looks really cool. In real life, this red is nowhere near as cool. So when I was unboxing this thing, it was kind of a letdown seeing this thing for the first time. It looks like the silver got a little cherry tint on it. It's not a very deep red. It's not very cool looking to me. Looks far better on camera. And I think that in the promo materials, if I didn't know better, I'd say Joyo was photoshopping their photos of this product to make it look a lot cooler than it actually is. But that's all minor. This thing sounds awesome. It's fun to play. It's practical. I suppose you could play this on stage if you really wanted to. And yeah, it makes practicing through a practice amp inspirational, something that you hardly get from anything else. So anyway, I have to give this one thumb up because that's all I got here. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. I will see you on the next video. Take care.